My boyfriend dumps me all of the housework and expects me to pay his debt once we get married. Now I am the one dumping him. My boyfriend and I moved in together last year when I accepted a job in another city, and he decided to move with me. He works remote. Before this kicked off, I was doing around 75% of the household chores, sometimes more if he would forget to do some of his. It was honestly kind of a drag because I'm a doctor and work 12-hour shifts, so to then come home and have to do the majority of the housework when he works 8-hour shifts from home was tiring. But I got on with it because technically I was still doing less than when I lived alone, and I gave him a lot of grace due to his diagnosed and medicated ADHD. He forgets to do a lot of stuff, and I genuinely thought he was trying his best, so I was happy to pick up the slack. A few weeks ago, I went on a work trip to Europe to go to a medical conference. I was going away for 2 weeks, and since I didn't want to come home to a backlog of cleaning, I arranged a cleaning service to come and left money for my boyfriend to pay them with. I came back from the trip and my apartment was sparkling clean, so I made a comment about how great the cleaning service was, which is when he admitted he ended up cleaning and used the money to go out with his friends because he thought it was a waste to pay someone to do something he could do. I was pissed. For months I have been doing practically everything housewise because I genuinely thought he was trying his best. But no, he is more than capable of doing things if he has no other option. I got angry and said he did have another option because I had arranged another option. He just chose to do it because it benefited him, as he had more disposable income. I said going forward, the chores will be split 50-50, and if he doesn't do his, I will kick him out, even though I love him, because he's not pulling his weight. He said that wasn't fair, and that I should have more compassion due to his disability, and he shouldn't face homelessness just because he forgets to clean. To which I said, you said you can do it if you have no other option, so I'm giving you no other option. This was a few days ago, and he's been pissy since, and his mom even texted me saying that I should feel ashamed that as a doctor, I'm not supporting someone with a medical condition. Update. He has been away at his brother's overnight, so I'm going to try and broach the subject again when he gets home. Update 2. My BF is still not home yet, but I got a call from his brother. Firstly to say he's on his way home, but he also wanted to give me a heads up that he was essentially bashing me the whole time he was at his brother's and saying I was selfish. His brother tried to tell him he was in the wrong and to grow up, but he just flipped out at him and drove off. When his brother asked him why he doesn't just step up and do his fair share, he said, "Why would I do that when she'll just fold once things get too messy and do it herself?" His brother said he felt the need to tell me as he doesn't want to be part of enabling him. He's the eldest sibling and my BF is the youngest, so he had a lot more responsibility growing up. He also dropped something in at the end, which is freaking me out. He said to ask my boyfriend what he spent the money on. I asked him to tell me, but he said he wouldn't, and I needed to speak to BF directly about it. I can't believe I have been so stupid and allowed myself to be played like this. I am planning on telling him he needs to move out by the end of the month when he gets home. Update 3. He finally made it home, so I told him I knew what he told his brother, and that I wouldn't put up with his disrespect anymore, and he needed to leave. There was a lot of back and forth, but he finally agreed to leave by the end of the month at the latest, and he will be sleeping in the guest room until then. I don't trust him to follow through, so I will be formally giving him an eviction notice tomorrow. Once he finally accepted he couldn't convince me to let him stay, he dared to ask what we were going to do about the vacation we had planned for September. I paid for the vacation in full, so I told him that I would be going with a friend, or even just alone, but he absolutely will not be going on the trip. He got angry about that and stormed outside for a walk to clear his head. He must have called his brother again because 20 minutes later I got a call from him, and he told me that if he gave me any bother about moving out to let him know, and he would remove him himself if he had to. And for the update, a lot of you are probably very curious about what did he spend the money on? The answer was massive credit card debt. Apparently, he has racked up over $30,000 of credit card debt over the past 3 years, and whenever he has been asking me for money for things, it's actually because I wouldn't be able to cover the minimum monthly payments. I asked him why on earth he was only making minimum payments when his job offered overtime, and this asshole actually said that he was just making the minimum payments because he assumed we would get married soon, and that I would just use my savings to pay it off because it would then be my debt too. Apparently, he came clean to his brother a couple of months ago, and he has been trying to convince him to tell me, but obviously he never did. So yes, turned out there are many things I'm good at, but spotting assholes isn't one of them.